If I had a blue ribbon, I'd give it out, but I don't have any blue ribbon. I'll tell you what, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Probably ought to refill before we start.
We have to tune the bagpipes. The bagpipes are a very ancient and very delicate instrument, and each person is actually playing 4 different instruments that each have to be tuned. So 4 times 6, we had 24 different instruments to tune. We are the Appalachian Highlanders, pipes and drums, and very honored to be here again with you at the Heritage Festival, representing the Highlanders from Scotland. We're going to be playing a tune called The Craigs of Tumbledown Mountain, followed by McCrae Meadows. It's a couple of marches. The tune Craigs of Tumbledown Mountain was written by a pipe major after the battles in the Falkland Islands. The Scots Guards and the Gurkha were little Nepalese soldiers. They're mean and vicious. They defeated the Argentine army to take possession of the Falkland Islands. The night after the battle, the pipe major wrote down the tune on the back of a cigarette pack, and then it has become a popular tune to play. McCrae Meadows is the field in the shadow of Grandfather Mountain, and those of you that like to go to the Highland Games or the Highland Gathering there, that's the name of the field, is McCrae Meadows. So we'll be playing Craigs of Tumbledown Mountain and McCrae Meadows. also called the war pipe and is often used to stir soldiers' hearts into battle, but that's also used to commemorate those who have fallen. The next tune we're playing is called the Bells of Dunblane, and the tune refers to the 13th century cathedral in Dunblane, Scotland, where in 1996, a disturbed young gunman entered the elementary school and opened fire, killing many of the students and teachers there. The tune was written by Pipe Major Robert Matheson as a tribute to those who were lost in the tragedy. The Bells of Dunblane. Tunes we'll be playing are Lochenside and the Shoals of Herring. Lochenside is the side of a lake, and the tune was written by Pipe Major John McClellan, who had won the Distinguished Service Medal after leading the troops onto battle at the Battle of Magersfontein. Even though he had been shot in the ankle and was wounded, he continued to play his pipes. The tune Lochenside speaks of the quiet peacefulness of a lake near his home in Dunoon, Scotland, and the lyrics of the song are helping to find a place of peace after the turmoil. The song Shoals of Herring is written about, well, shoals, which are shallow waters, full of herring off the coast of Scotland. The Shoals of Herring. So, Lochenside and the Shoals of Herring. we normally think of bagpipers playing in groups like a bagpipe band, up until the Victorian era, the regiments would only have a single piper or a couple of pipers, but the drummers were always on board to do the duty calls, make the signals, and order all the commands on the field. So a bagpipe band, such as we have, is a fairly new invention, but we do continue with some of the traditions of the police and the military, where the drums give the commands. So toward the end of the tune, you might hear me go. That means it's time to stop the tune. When we do the roll-off, that means it's time to start the tune. And the next tunes we're going to play is a set of 3 marches. The first one is an odd count. It's a 5-4 march. So you kind of, wait a minute, where's that extra step? It's called Colin Bay, the Colin Bay is a small town, again, off the coast of Scotland, and it's full of herring too. It's a big fishing village. The next tune in the set is called Wings. It's the regimental march past of the Corps of Royal Engineers. It was originally written for a brass band and then modified. See, the bagpipes only have 9 notes, and you can't do the same as a brass band can. The last in this set is called the 76 Police Tattoo, and a tattoo is a military call. It's the call at the end of the day when the band gathers all of its musicians together, and you get as many bands as you can, like the Edinburgh Tattoo, to march through town, because the word tattoo is derived from a Dutch command, doden tapto, which goes to the tavern owners, and it means turn your taps off and send the soldiers home. So they have the loudest band and all of the bands that play the tattoo. 76 Police Tattoo was actually written for the 1976 International Police Tattoo. Outlander fans out there? Outlander, okay. never mind. No, the next pair of tunes that we're going to play begins with a tune called the Sky Boat Song, which is the theme song of the Outlander television series. The tune was actually written to commemorate the leaving of Bonnie Prince Charlie after his defeat at the Battle of Culloden. The story goes that Bonnie Prince Charlie was escorted off by Lady Flora MacDonald as he wore her handmaiden's dress. Betty Burke was the ugliest woman I've ever seen, dressed as Bonnie Prince Charlie. The second tune we're going to play, it's actually a slow air or a waltz tune. So if you want to get up and waltz, feel free to. The second is called The Cock of the North. And the Cock of the North is the nickname of Alexander Gordon, the 4th Duke of Gordon, who raised the 92nd Regiment of Foot that later became the Gordon Highlanders. So the Skyboat Song and the Cock of the North. The next tune that we're playing is actually, could be a country western song. It's really about a lost love. The name of the tune in English is The Water is Wide. It was originally entitled Wally Wally, or Oh Woe Is Me. It's an old English folk song with the lyrics that are basically, my love is far, far away on the other side of the water. Oh, Wally Wally Wally.
only 9 notes.
To give the guys just a little mental break, Appalachian Highlanders meets in Abingdon, Virginia on Tuesday evenings. If you'd like to learn to play the pipes, we do offer some free lessons. Otherwise, we can charge if you'd like. Just to introduce the band, all the way to your left is Seth Graham, Dr. Jeff Jones from Marion, Liam Horn. Now, you're here in Norton. No, you guys are Wise or Norton? Oh, they're now in Bristol. They were from Wise, right here, hometown folks. Jeff Forster, who is our pipe sergeant. Pipe sergeant's in charge of training all of the new pipers. We've got Judd Berry. He's a relatively new piper with the band. Pipe major Randy Stanley is in charge of the band. Next to me is Beverly Campbell, a music teacher in Abingdon, and I'm drum sergeant major Michael Henningsen. I've been doing piping and drumming stuff for almost 60 years. It can be a lifetime hobby for you, certainly an enjoyable thing to do, even when you forget the tunes. You just played a different one. So the next set of tunes we're going to play is a set of 4/4 marches. Lord Lovat's Lament, Battle of Waterloo, and the Flet from Flutter. Lord Lovat's Lament was written actually to honor Lord Lovat, who had been on the wrong side of the Battle of Culloden and was sentenced to be executed. He managed to escape for a little while, but finally, at 80 years old, he was hauled to the Tower of London and was beheaded. His beheading was the last beheading in Britain. So the tune was written to mourn Lord Lovat. The next tune is Battle of Waterloo, which of course commemorates Napoleon's tragic loss. He had waited because of a rainstorm and he met his demise at Waterloo. The last tune in this set is called Flet from Flutter. And Flet is actually a location name. It's a little town off the Isle of Flutter. And oftentimes in naming somebody, you can be named after the place that you live. So like if Jimmy was born in Wise, we might call him Jimmy Wise, whether he's wise or not. The location can be somebody's name. Well, Jimmy Flet was a piper and a regimental piper, and he had kind of an odd little gait to him, and the pipe major of the regiment was watching him walk one day, and while the pipe major and the other piper were a little bit drunk, they were playing their practice chanters, and out came this tune mimicking Jimmy Flet's rather odd, unique walk. So, the march set of, oh boy, Jimmy Flet, where'd you get it? So, Lord Lovat's Lament, the Battle of Waterloo, and Flet from Flutter. fairy tale? Well, the next tune we're going to play isn't a fairy tale, it's a fairy song. It's called Cutting Bracken, and the story behind it is that a young fairy, male fairy, was cutting bracken or cutting bushes, and he spied a young maiden who caught his eye, and they fell madly in love, and they would go out and meet while he was out cutting bracken. Well, her family would have nothing to do with it, so they stopped them from meeting, and the song, the lyrics of the song, actually mourn the situation of a lost love between a fairy and his young lady friend. The second song in it is a slower tune. It's called Samrad Samrad, which means summer, summer, and it actually sings of the joys of summer. The lyrics are even more specific in referring to the beauty of young lasses running through the flowers. The set ends with another march. It's called the Song of the Chanter. This ancient Irish march emphasizes the music of the bagpipes. Randy, why don't you step out for just a second? The bagpipes. Bagpipes are actually 4 instruments in one. The tall things are called drones, and they just go ah in the background, and they give a harmony to the music part. 2 tenor drones and 1 bass drone. They all have to be in tune with each other, but most important, they have to be in tune with the melody pipe. That's called a chanter. It only has 9 notes, but oh, the things that you can do with those 9 notes, with all kinds of fancy little movements. In fact, there is a musical language called Cantoracht, which is how they used to teach pipers to play. They would sing the movements, and then the piper would have to play them. So this song, the Song of the Chanter, honors the chanter or the melody pipe of the bagpipes. So Cutting Bracken, Summer, Summer, and the Song of the Chanter.
Yeah.